Start. Just share your experiences as from when it happened and where you live, etc.
Okay. Well, I live. My husband and I both live in Port-au-Prince, and it was by chance that we had a meeting. I had a meeting outside the office that day, and so I didn't go back to work. So it was by chance that I wasn't at work, but my office buildings actually collapsed. So if I had gone back to work, I would have not been alive, and a lot of our employees wouldn't have been alive too, because when I stay late at work, they all stay with me. So luckily nobody in our office buildings were hurt, but my husband and I, we were at home when it happened, and like it started a really, really loud like rumbling sound, and like it felt like there was a truck backing up on our house, and like things started shaking, and I was just totally like did not understand what was going on, just like looking at things falling off the walls and off furniture and stuff. And my husband, he ran out and he was like, get out, it's an earthquake. So we ran out, and then we went to see, because there's a view of the city from where we live. So we looked at the city and we just heard like sounds of like concrete collapsing, you know, like really loud thumps, and thousands of people screaming and moaning. It was terrible. It was really, really awful. So then shortly after it happened, one of our neighbors came over like hysterical, asking for a shovel and a pick, because she had gotten out of her house but her husband and son didn't, and the house had collapsed, and we lost like 15 neighbors. Our house was one of 2 or 3 in our neighborhood that didn't collapse, but all of the other ones did. So there's like a concrete, I guess you could call it like a concrete shanty town not too far from where we lived, and that totally collapsed. So people were walking out of it after the earthquake with arms and legs broken and bones sticking out of them. And my husband like went back into the house and took everything out of our medicine cabinet and started like giving Advil and aspirin to people that had broken limbs, and trying to disinfect their wounds. Like people had head wounds, and I mean, it was horrible. And I mean, we didn't know for hours. My mom and brother, they don't live in the same house as us, so we didn't know for hours that they were alive. But because there was no communication, there was no way to send out an email or anything. So we walked around the city, and it was incredible. Like everything was really dusty, so you couldn't really see, and you could hear people moaning in the rubble. It was, but at night, people would pray. A lot of people would pray and sing. You could hear them singing, but every time it shook after that, people would scream. It was really, really difficult. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking about the experience. It's different now. Like 2 days after the earthquake, there were bodies everywhere. Everywhere were bodies, and they were bloated, and they really smelled very bad. And but now they cleaned it up, and I mean, I don't. For whatever it's worth, you know. Right now, the situation is different. I haven't been there in 2 weeks, so I don't know what it's like now, but it looked like a bomb went off there. Like, it was just horrible, and like places were bursting into flames, like gas stations. With the quake, everything moved, and so there were a lot of burn victims too. So it was really it's still a really bad situation, but now at least they've cleaned up the dead bodies, because that was really, really, really something. Like hundreds of dead bodies along the road just piled up. I mean,
are there still any aftershocks? Are they still having any more?
Last time they had one was 4 days ago, but they had like, since the big earthquake, they had like 60 or so aftershocks. And the day of the earthquake, it was like 30 that same day. So it was like really, really shaking a lot after that. So it was really, really, I mean, we thought we were gonna die. Like, we really did. So,
how far of a walk is it from where you live to the
Are we going
main
back?
part of the city?
Are we going forward or back?
It's about a 2-hour walk.
2-hour walk.
Yeah. And everybody was walking in the streets the days after the earthquake. Everybody was just walking in the streets because they were scared to go back inside. So everybody was in the streets just walking aimlessly, you know. And everybody was in shock, because it's not natural to be in a house and that it shakes. Like all the lamps were swaying, furniture fell, everything broke. You know, it's not a natural feeling. Our pool was shaking so much that it was like somebody was holding like a bowl and the water went out like a wave, like a big wave. So half our pool was empty. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's like there now. Like I said, I wasn't there for 2 weeks, but my husband's been volunteering there at a clinic, and it's really rough.
What have you been doing for 2 weeks?
Well, I've been staying with my husband's family in North Carolina, and I've been communicating with different groups like this one. So I put this group in touch with a friend of mine who has a chain of pharmacies in the DR.
Okay.
And so they were able to get everything at cost, all the medications that they were buying in the DR at cost, instead of going to individual pharmacies and buying, you know. So they were able to get it from one place and at a lower price. And I've been just coordinating different things from abroad. It was actually more like a full-time job than, because I just felt like I had to do something. My husband wanted me to leave, but I didn't want to go. But he didn't know. He was like, I don't know if we're gonna find food. I don't know what. So I would rather you just leave, so the little resources that we have here, I could use, because a lot of the supermarkets collapsed as well. So.
Anyway. So what do you want to do now?
What do you mean?
Go back.
Well, our business collapsed, but our employees are alive, and I want to start up a small operation again, just to give them a little hope of some kind of normalcy, and also help in any way that I can. I don't know, translating or doing volunteering, helping.
And what was your business?
A pharmaceutical distribution company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
you'd be able to go back to your home? Live in your home? Okay.
My home is fine so far, but I'm petrified to stay indoors. So.
What's your home made out of?
Concrete. Yeah. So it's not I think that must be the worst way to die. Buried like that. But
they pulled out some people alive really long time after the earthquake.
Yeah.
10 days or
crazy
amounts of time.
Yeah.